It's the middle of the night. Your dog has their own bed, a blanket, a quiet corner of the room, maybe even the couch. And yet somehow, they still end up here, curled against your legs, pressed into your side, stretching across your mattress like they pay the rent. Most people assume it's about warmth, or habit, or maybe your dog is just a little clingy. But what if that isn't the real reason at all? What if your dog isn't just sleeping next to you? What if they're placing themselves beside the person they trust most when they are at their most vulnerable? Because sleep is not just rest. For an animal, sleep is surrender. And when your dog chooses to sleep beside you, that choice may be saying far more than most people realize. In this video, we're going to look at why dogs sleep with their humans, what that behavior may reveal about trust and attachment, and why something that looks simple on the surface may actually be one of the deepest forms of bonding your dog can show. Let's start with the most common explanation: warmth. It sounds reasonable. Dogs like warm places. You are warm. Problem solved. Except, if warmth were the only thing your dog wanted, they would have options. A sunny patch on the floor, a soft blanket, a laundry pile that somehow became their favorite place in the world. So why do they keep choosing your bed? Why your legs? Why your side? Why your chest? Because the place your dog sleeps is not just about comfort, it's also about safety. And to understand that, you have to look at what sleep means in the animal world. When an animal falls asleep, its guard drops, its awareness changes, its reaction time slows, its body becomes easier to surprise. That makes sleep one of the most defenseless states any creature can enter, which means where a dog sleeps matters. A lot. A dog that wants maximum distance will sleep away from activity. A dog that wants maximum caution may choose a spot where it can hear everything. A dog that feels uncertain may sleep lightly, move often, or choose a position that keeps them alert. So when a dog repeatedly leaves other sleeping options and settles beside you, that behavior may not be random at all. It may mean this: your presence helps their nervous system feel safe enough to let go. And that brings us to attachment. One of the most powerful things researchers discovered over the past few decades is that dogs do not merely live with humans. They form bonds with us. Real bonds. In studies on dog-human attachment, dogs have shown patterns that look strikingly similar to the way young children relate to a trusted caregiver. They seek closeness. They show distress when separated. They calm down when reunited. That matters here, because when your dog sleeps beside you, they may be doing the canine version of something very simple: staying close to their safe person. Not because they are weak, not because they are needy, but because closeness itself has become regulating. Your scent is familiar. Your breathing is familiar. Your movements are familiar. Your body has become part of what safe feels like. So no, your dog may not be sleeping next to you just because they like your bed. They may be sleeping next to you because you have become part of their emotional security. And then there's the chemistry. Because this bond is not just sentimental, it is biological. Researchers studying dogs and humans have found something extraordinary. When dogs and owners interact in warm, connected ways, both can experience changes in bonding-related neurochemistry. One of the most well-known examples involves oxytocin, the chemical often associated with attachment, social trust, and caregiving. In simple terms, connection changes the body. Your dog is not just feeling close to you in an abstract emotional sense. Their body may also be responding to your presence as something calming, familiar, and rewarding. And physical closeness appears to matter. Gentle touch can reduce stress. Familiar contact can help regulate arousal. A known body nearby can shift how safe an environment feels. So when your dog sleeps pressed against you, the message may not just be emotional, it may be physiological too. Your dog may literally relax more deeply near you than away from you. That doesn't mean every dog wants physical closeness in the same way. Some dogs sleep on your feet. Some dogs curl behind your knees. Some dogs need one paw touching you. Some want to be nearby, but not directly on top of you. The exact pattern may vary, but the meaning often points in the same direction: proximity, reassurance, regulation, trust. And there may be something even older behind it. Dogs did not become dogs overnight. They were shaped across thousands of years of living near humans, moving with humans, resting near humans, and gradually becoming more socially tuned to us than any other domestic species. Over a very long stretch of time, the dogs that tolerated human closeness best, and eventually sought it out, were the ones more likely to stay near camp, survive, bond, and pass those traits forward. In other words, this urge to be near us is not a weird modern habit. It is part of the long story of how dogs became dogs. So when your dog climbs into bed and settles against you, you may be watching a behavior that has very deep roots, not just in affection, but in co-living, co-resting, and co-regulating across generations. And here's where the story gets even more interesting. Because objectively, sleeping with a dog is not always perfect for human sleep. Dogs move, they twitch, they dream, they stretch at impossible angles. They somehow manage to take up more space than physics should allow. So yes, from a sleep quality standpoint, your dog may disturb you sometimes. But many people still report feeling more secure, calmer, and more comforted with their dog nearby. That contradiction matters, because it suggests that sleep is not only about silence and stillness. It is also about how safe your body feels. For many people, a trusted dog in the room or in the bed does something that perfect sleep conditions do not always provide. It reduces loneliness. It lowers vigilance. It creates emotional steadiness. It gives the nervous system a living, breathing signal that says, "You are not alone right now." And maybe dogs feel a version of that too. Maybe when your dog sleeps with you, it is not simply choosing a location. Maybe it is choosing a state. A state where the world feels less uncertain. A state where rest becomes easier. A state built not just on softness or warmth, but on relationship. And that is why this behavior often feels so touching to people, even when they do not know exactly why. Because somewhere deep down, we recognize what it means to be chosen in moments of vulnerability, especially by a creature that cannot speak. Which brings us to something important. As beautiful as this behavior can be, it should not be romanticized blindly, because context matters. Some dogs sleep with their owners because of trust and comfort. Some do it because they are cold. Some because they learned the routine. Some because they have separation distress and struggle to settle alone. The behavior itself is meaningful, but it has to be read together with the dog's overall emotional state. If your dog sleeps beside you and looks relaxed, loose, calm, and content, that is very different from a dog who seems restless, hypervigilant, anxious, or unable to settle without constant contact. So the question is not only, does my dog sleep with me? It is also, how does my dog seem when they do? That is where understanding becomes more accurate. And there is one more thing pet owners should pay attention to. If your dog has always slept beside you and suddenly stops, don't dismiss it too quickly. Dogs are creatures of pattern. When a long-established routine disappears, something may have changed. Sometimes the change is emotional. A new person in the home, a new pet, a shift in schedule, a different sleeping environment, a stressful event you barely noticed but your dog felt deeply. Sometimes the change is physical. Pain can make jumping onto the bed harder. Joint stiffness can make old sleeping spots uncomfortable. Aging can change rest patterns, comfort needs, and nighttime behavior. So yes, if your dog sleeps with you, that may be trust. But if they stop, that may also be information. Behavior is one of the clearest ways dogs communicate, and when their patterns shift, it is worth paying attention. So what is your dog really telling you when they sleep beside you? Maybe something like this: I can rest here. I can let go here. I feel safer when you are close. Your presence changes what this space feels like for me. That is not a small message. That is not just a bedtime preference. That is vulnerability. Quiet vulnerability. The kind animals do not give away carelessly. So the next time your dog leaves their own bed, circles twice, and settles against you like this has always been their place, remember what you may actually be witnessing. Not clinginess, not laziness, not just a search for warmth, but trust. Trust expressed in the most defenseless part of the day. Your dog is not just sleeping beside you. They may be placing their unguarded self next to the person who feels safest in their world. And honestly, that might be one of the most meaningful things a dog can do. If this changed the way you see your dog, let me know in the comments. Where does your dog sleep at night? And if you've ever woken up to find your dog quietly staring at you in the dark, the next video is for you. Because sometimes dogs do not just sleep beside the people they love. Sometimes they watch them too. And that behavior may be telling you something just as deep.